congratulations on a state title. Can you reflect a little bit and tell us a little bit about the game and how you're feeling, and we'll open it up for questions.
Okay. Well, we're probably, the best word to use is relieved. We obviously we got off to a great start, played real well. Lodi scores a lot of points, and so we were real pleased with the way we defended, primarily in the first half, doing a good job of keeping them kind of in check. And then we were pretty efficient on the offensive end. Second half, obviously they got it going, and hey, they're a great team. We knew they were going to come back. We kept talking about it. They're going to come back. You know, we haven't seen their best shot yet. These guys are going to keep coming at us, and they did. And they and we made it very interesting, and we're just glad we got out of here with a W.
All right, we'll open up for questions.
Hey Rick, what does this performance, especially in the fourth quarter, say about your team today? The guy in the middle up there took one fourth quarter shot and hit a couple of free throws. It seemed a good team effort in the fourth quarter, but what does this kind of say about your team?
Well, you know, we just talked about adversity in the locker room now, and we've felt like we faced a lot of adversity throughout the season. And I talked about how proud I am of them because they showed so much maturity in the way they finished the year, not just this game, but the way they finished our season the last 3 or 4 weeks. And so I think the end of that game sums some things up as far as us growing up and kind of getting it done. And our senior leadership was really the key to that because things weren't going our way. Things were tough. We created a little bit of that ourselves, but at the same time, you got to find a way to gather it, compose yourself, and finish it, and they did that.
Over here to the right. Rick, you mentioned you got a pretty veteran group. Was it pretty easy to tell them to keep attacking when they went on that big run? And it seems like that they continued to push it down. They continued to attack the paint, even though shots weren't falling for them.
Yeah, we got a little hesitant for a while there, and that was really where we got ourselves into trouble. We started the fourth quarter out with a great possession. We did exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to work a little clock. We never said we were stalling. It was work the clock, keep the lane open, get a layup. And we took a minute off the clock, we got ourselves a layup. It was when they started to double back that we got ourselves into trouble because we didn't do a good job of recognizing, hey, my guy left me, I need to come back to the ball and be available. And that's what hurt us. So, but thankfully, like I said, we stuck through, we got through it, and we made free throws.
For 8 steals for Carson, what's he meant to this team this year?
Well, what he did today was unbelievable. I mean, he had a handful of games this year where he played with that kind of energy, and that's why he starts, is because he's all over the floor. He's getting steals, he's getting rebounds, he's getting tips, he's stepping out on ball screens. That kind of energy, you just can't replace it. And so it becomes contagious. All of a sudden you get a steal, all of a sudden Bronson's knocking down a shot. So it becomes contagious and it helps the other guys out.
Over to your left here.
Hey, congratulations, guys. Rick, this is for all of you, perhaps just chime in on, there was a point in the season where you were not pleased with the way your team played. Everyone knows that. They didn't assume their roles. The chemistry wasn't there. Can you just reflect on when the light came on and when you maybe thought, well, maybe this team does have a chance to win a state championship?
Well, we thought all year long we had a team that could win a state championship. That was the goal, as soon as the season started, was to win a state championship. We did go through some adversity. We had some things internally that we had to go through, and that's all fine. But our senior leadership, and really it was 2 guys sitting next to me and, pulling this thing together and kind of being the engine behind it. And some of that is being a senior and having that urgency. So as the regular season was winding down, that's when you could see it coming together. All of a sudden, I saw Bronson raise his level of play to just an incredible level. That's really what got it going right there.
For both Bronson and Mike, what was kind of going through your guys' mind? I imagine you started that fourth quarter thinking, 8 minutes until we get to celebrate the state title, and then a few minutes later you're only up by 3. What was kind of going through your mind in that run? And then Bronson also, what was going through your mind then again when you got that loose ball and were able to finally breathe a big sigh of relief?
Those last couple seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when they made the run, I guess I was just telling my teammates to calm down. You know, we were fine. We still had the lead and everything, and just don't panic and just keep playing. And when I finally got that steal, you know, I was pretty relieved since there were only a few seconds on the clock. But I just told the guys to keep playing and try to be the best leader I could be. You know, and when we weren't really trying to stall the ball like you said, but we wanted to score it also and get in there, you know, get the free throw line. So.
Kind of like what he said, I mean, we gathered our guys together, we just said calm down, because, I mean, so far we had the lead, we were attacking and we were playing great, so if we could just be strong with the ball and play how we know how to play, that we knew we could finish it off.
Bronson, last year obviously was not easy for you with your was it thumb injury you had last year, or was it wrist?
Thumb and tonsils.
Yeah. Can you talk about how much you pushed yourself in the offseason to get yourself ready and get yourself prepared to be a leader on this team to hopefully get back here and win our state championship?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to win a state championship my senior year like everyone else. And in the off season, I just did what I always do is, you know, lift weights, you know, and try to prepare for the season, you know, in AAU and everything. And just like I said, get ready for this season and work. You know, I was kind of motivated too by, you know, other teams coming here and seeing other teams win state and everything. And I just really wanted to get back here and win state, so I just worked really hard in the off season to get back here.
This is for both players. Was there a certain phase of this game that you thought you were going to have to win today to be able to prevail and get this championship? A certain phase over any of the over the others?
I'd have to say defense and rebounding. I mean, they're averaging about 70 points per game, so we knew that we had to shut them down defensively and try to limit their attempts to only one per possession. If we did that, we thought that we'd be fine going into this game.
Pretty much same thing he said. It's just, you know, limit their shots, box out is, you know, a big thing, rebounding and everything, to winning all championships, which is what he told me is defense and rebounding. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that down the stretch. And, you know, we couldn't really control if that kid was just hitting faders, hitting 3-pointers. So, but I thought we did a pretty good job.
Coach, could you just tell me what went into the decision to have Conway guard Shea instead of Bronson? And then Bronson, could you just tell me what you thought of your teammates' defense on Shea today?
Well, we liked our matchups. You know, Michael's really athletic. He's long. He's a couple inches taller, and so we felt like he was going to be able to do a good job of keeping him in front, but also his length would affect him on the perimeter. And so that's why we decided to go with Mike. But, you know, the other thing is, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name, but Moses. To be honest with you, I felt like in a lot of ways he was the heartbeat of their team. And so we decided to put Bronson on him because we felt like Bronson could do a good job of shutting him down as well. So, you know, we got two great athletes, two great players, and hey, let's put them on their best two players and let's see what we can do. And in the first half, obviously, we were pretty successful with it.
Yeah, I knew Mike could guard him and use his length and athleticism to get around those, you know, double screens and everything like that, and get a good hand on him and box him out, which he did and everything. And I thought he played really good defense. And then I guarded number 3, and you know, limited him to only a few points. So I thought we did a pretty good job.
For Michael and Bronson, 2 state championships and 2 in the last 3 years. You guys won't put on an Aquinas uniform after today. Can you put in perspective what this run has been for you, both of you? What it's meant?
It's meant a lot to me, I guess. Winning 2 state championships at Aquinas, you know, all the great players and teams that have come through here, it just means a lot to me. Winning 2 state championships, especially my senior year and my sophomore year, you know, it's just a really good feeling, I guess.
For me, I mean, sophomore year was great for the experience and everything. But then with me and Bronson being out last year, I just wanted to make sure that we could have a possibility to get back here this year. I mean, we've been playing together since 6th, 7th grade, so to finally get back to the state championship our senior year was huge for me.
Coach, for you, can you talk about coming out of the timeout early in the third quarter when they had cut it to 6 because you guys went on a run from there that I thought, you obviously had to sweat it out late, but I thought that run was kind of the difference. And Michael, if you could add on to that, you had a big hand in that run coming out of that timeout.
Well, we talked about composure. We said that the first 4 minutes of the second half, we wanted to come out and try to take complete control of the game, and then they came out and hit 2 threes on us to cut it to 6. So we talked about composure and just getting back out there, and it's time to make the run. Don't let this happen. Don't let it slip away right now. So and I felt like we did that. All of a sudden we made a nice little run there to create a little bit of separation again. So
I came out in the second half. I mean, the first half, none of my shots were falling, but Coach and Bronson and other players were just telling me to keep going on the attack. And so in the second half, I did that. I felt like I had a mismatch with the guy guarding me, so I went at him, and they started to drop the second half.
Rick, when they made their final run and the kids started hitting the threes, did you do anything different defensively? Start switching, start chasing, cut underneath, just to hold that?
Yeah, we were chasing on it. They made some tough shots, and then sometimes the ball just didn't bounce right our way either, and all of a sudden, they got a couple of them where guys were just open because of that. So, no, we were trying to step on the screens. They were setting some stagger doubles and things, and so we tried to show maybe a little bit more, but other than that, we just had to continue to chase on them and try to get there, find a way to get there. I mean, those were tough shots. There were several of them that we were there. It wasn't a lack of defense. We were there. They made some tough ones, so hats off to them.
We got time for one final question.
Rick, I know you get asked this a lot, but how good has Bronson been for you guys, especially the last, this past season? How much better do you think he can get when he plays here full time starting next year?
Well, he's been the leader. I said it yesterday, 4 years ago. He came in and we handed the ball off to him and said, "Here we go." And I just feel like, I've been fortunate enough to be in a gym with him for 4 years, and everyone else just gets to come and watch him play in a game, and I get to see him practice and work out on his own in the off season, and I've just watched him evolve as a player, and I've watched him evolve as a person, his maturity. And I think that Wisconsin is so lucky to get him because he's going to be a great leader for him. He's ready for that, and I've seen him grow into that role and into that person. And I'm super proud of him. I'm going to miss him, but I'm super proud of him for where he's headed, and he's got a bright future. So the sky's the limit for him. I mean, it really is. That's how I feel. He's got some skills. His skill set is really special. We talked about that yesterday too. He can hurt teams in so many different ways, and so it's going to be a lot of fun for him.
Appreciate you guys coming in. Congratulations on the state title.